And welcome back to Rob Schmitt Tonight. We're about to see what happens when a supply chain crisis collides with a holiday shopping season. Prices on everything, as you know, food, energy, retail, surging their fastest pace in 30 years. Giant container ships remain stranded off the California coast. How bored the people on those ships must be waiting to come in. The Washington Times reporting the throng of container ships anchored off the coast of Southern California grew by 43% since President Biden's announcement a month ago that the ports there would start working around the clock and ease supply chain woes. Another effective job by your highly competent White House, of course. Today, the House Committee on Energy and Commerce held a hearing on green supply chain solutions. It was really just an opportunity for Democrats on the committee to push Biden's Build Back Better agenda, of course, which promises people will go back to work if we just give them a little bit more free stuff. The great irony is our economic issues, which the White House certainly exacerbated, are crushing the class of voters that the White House pretends to care about the most. The underprivileged in this society get killed by inflation and high energy costs as well. Lower income families spend roughly a third of their income on food and energy. And though the Biden team loves to brag about higher wages, a product of a horrible labor market with less people working, thanks, of course, to liberal policies, the truth is prices are rising faster than those wages. That is the truth. And so here we are. The party in power, insisting more spending, more handouts, more taxes, and more debt will just solve all of our problems. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul joins us now to talk more about this. Sir, good to see you. We know that you know the Senate very well. What do you suspect happens with the reconciliation plan at this point?
You know, I've been surprised that there's actually been longer debate and more involved debate and more dissension in the Democrat ranks. And that's probably all good for the country because you now have Senator Manchin saying he's worried about inflation and worried about the spending and debt causing more inflation. Unfortunately, other members of his party are saying, oh, no, that's how we fix inflation is with more spending and more debt. Right. But it's amazing that fundamentally we have people at the highest level of government, the president included, who don't understand where inflation comes from, that inflation comes from borrowing, having the Federal Reserve print the money to pay for the debt, and diluting the value of the existing currency. That's where inflation comes from, and it's up because we've borrowed an unprecedented amount of money in the last 2 years.
Do you suspect that they really don't understand it, or do they just want to push through an agenda to hell with whatever problems that causes?
Well, they do have an agenda, and I think they want more dependency on government. They want more free things to hook people on to try to draw them in to gain power. But at the same time, I also think they do fundamentally misunderstand inflation and they just sort of think somehow it happens, that it comes out of nowhere, that it's the vagaries of the marketplace somehow, instead of that it really is a very precise cause. It's an inflation of the money supply. Yeah. It's more dollars chasing the same amount of goods causes prices to rise. It's very simple. And it's also very well explained by the massive amount of debt that we've added in the last 2 years. But to say we're going to add more debt makes absolutely no more any sense at all to say adding more debt will fix the problem when that's precisely what the problem is.
No, yeah, it seems very simple to me. It's something to watch them just kind of stick their face right in the fan.